Hello and welcome to episode 3 of LUFC FANZONE podcast. I'm Sam Isles.
And I'm Jack Ellis.
And each episode we'll be talking to an ex-Leeds United player or manager about their time at the club. We're delighted to announce that this week's episode is sponsored by the Harrogate CBD Company.
Harrogate CBD Company are a local business run by Leeds United fans, and they're on a mission to help people sleep better and relax during lockdown. They source the finest CBD products so you don't need to look any further when looking for anxiety relief or a helping hand when struggling to sleep.
Research has showed that CBD can help refresh your mindset and increase your focus to reduce anxiety, and their oils contain pure hemp, organic ingredients and less than 0.2% THC content. If you want to find out more about their products, visit them on www.hgcbd.co.uk or on Instagram at Harrogate_CBD and add the discount code LUFC to receive 5% off all their sprays and oils.
But back to this week's episode. And with every podcast, our guest is chosen by you, our followers and listeners, who get the chance to choose who we are joined by next by voting on the poll on our LUFC FANZONE Instagram story.
This week's poll showed that over 500 of you wanted a former Leeds attacker to feature on today's episode, rather than an ex-Leeds goalkeeper, defender or midfielder. All of our episodes can be found on our LUFC FANZONE YouTube channel, as well as on Spotify and Apple Podcast. And last episode, we were joined by former head coach Neil Redfern.
This week, we're with an attacker who played over 50 times for Leeds and joined the club from Portuguese giant Sporting Lisbon in 2016.
On the 6-yard box. Infield now to Sacko. He's got space ahead of him to pick out Roof as well. Sacko's continued his run into the box. He goes, and it's 2-0 for Leeds United. They just seem to dance right through Preston North End. Then it was far too easy.
That's right. Today we're joined by former Leeds winger Hadi Sacko. Thanks for joining us, Hadi.
Hi everyone. Hope everyone is good. Thanks for inviting me in this website.
After a long break of football because of coronavirus, players have resumed training in the last couple of weeks, including yourself at your new club, Denzelspor, is that right?
Yeah, that the world are not going so well in this moment, so we are going back slowly to training like normal. We will back to start the league in the 15th June. So the things are doing like easily going well.
What's it like to be back?
Of course, I want to be back on the pitch. That's where I'm more happy. So quickly I will be back. Quickly I will be more happy.
Although we plan to speak to you about your time at Leeds, is it okay if we start at the very beginning of your career before you joined the club?
Yes, we can.
So yeah, your first club was in France, wasn't it, with Bordeaux? And you signed your first professional contract in 2012 when you were just 18. What can you remember about that? And because signing a professional contract must have been a dream come true for yourself.
Yes, it was a good remember. I start football in a professional club with Bordeaux, so I did 2 years in formation. So after these 2 years, I passed a professional. So this is what it was an honor for me. I was really enjoying this moment. 18, very young. It was a good remember.
At the time when you signed for Bordeaux, they were competing in the Europa League, weren't they? And 4 months after you signed your professional contract, you made your debut, which was actually in Europa League, wasn't it, against Club Brugge? What was it like to make your debut in such a high-profile competition?
Yeah, to be honest, it was something like change from normally. Normally, when a young player or anywhere one player make his debut, he's making on the league, on the cup. I make this in the European Cup, so it was a little bit more special. I remember this game was winning 4-0 when I came inside the game, so it was the best way to come inside to the professional world. So with winning 4-0 and I have no pressure, we was playing at home. It was an unbelievable night.
Despite not featuring frequently for Bordeaux, you played just 11 games in 3 seasons. Then you made a switch across Europe to Portuguese giant Sporting Lisbon. Was that an exciting move for you at the time?
At this time, I was thinking for me it was the right decision. I was playing in Bordeaux for 4 years now, 2 years formation and 2 years professional. And when this club Sporting Portugal come, was like, yeah, it can be a good option for me for my future. And I signed there, and yeah, it didn't happen like what I wanted. But it's football, you know. Sometimes it's work, sometimes you learn, sometimes it doesn't work. And this time I think I learn a lot. I didn't play a lot, but I learned a lot after.
So you joined Sporting Lisbon in 2014 and signed a very long contract, which was 6 years, as well as having a release clause, which was 60 million euros. Was that correct?
Is that correct? Yeah.
Were you surprised that you were handed a long contract, as contracts given to players are usually much shorter than 6 years? And as well, were you surprised about the extremely large release clause?
Yeah, when you see the Portuguese club, like more Sporting Lisbon, every player they sign, they from outside the country, most of them they sign a long deal, and they already put like a big clause, like the one I have it. So I mean, this is not mean like too much for them. Like it's like when after the transfer can open, they can decide whatever they want. So if you see, they don't put they put this clause most of all to every player they sign.
Yeah, and whilst you're at Sporting Lisbon, you mainly featured in their second team, the B team, and you made 4 appearances in the first team, but they all came in the Portuguese Cup. Do you think that you should have been given more opportunities in the Sporting Lisbon first team?
Yeah, of course, I was working hard. I was doing well in the B team. But also in this time when I was there, they have a really strong team in the A team. They have so many good players in front of me. They was really good. So I understand it was difficult for me to join to play more in this time. But I think I was needed like more like consideration.
And then after 2 years in Portugal, in 2016 you made the switch from Sporting to Leeds. But can you remember how you first found out about Leeds' interest?
After 1 year and a half, I go to a loan to one club in France, second division, Social.
Yeah.
I make 6 months there. Then after this, I remember I was playing there. I was I think playing all the games. So after this loan, of course, I wanted to continue it on this way to play. And Leeds, I remember my agent called me and told me that Leeds they are interesting to sign me on loan, and I was really happy because this is what one of my dream to come in England. So when Leeds called me and they explained me the project, so I was really excited and joined to this club.
What did you actually know about Leeds before you joined? Because, like you said, your dream was obviously playing Europe, but what did you know specifically about Leeds before you made the trip over?
To be honest, I just know that it was a really good club. I know in general it's a really good club, but before it was playing like for Champions League, for everything. There was wearing for everything. So everyone who know the English football and the Europe football, they know that Leeds it is a very good club. So when they called me to come to play there, to play for this shirt, I was like, yeah, this can be really good. And I know that they have a French big star they play in this club, so they give me more motivation to come.
Usually, and especially at Leeds, if a player is close to joining the club, it's rumoured on Twitter and other social medias before it's made official. However, your transfer was slightly different, There was no speculation about you joining until I think Gary Monk, who was head coach at the time, posted a photo on Twitter of the squad in their pre-season trip to Ireland, and you were in it, even in a Leeds tracksuit.
Yeah.
Even though you weren't officially a part of the squad, can you remember it?
I remember before the official is this transfer was with the group already. We was in camp, and then it was a little bit different because I didn't sign officially like in the club or in Leeds City. I signed already, and I go to the camp with the player. And we make this official a little bit strange, like how you say it, with a tracks, kit training. Yeah,
Training
it was
kit,
a
yeah.
training kit. Yeah, training kit, and it was quickly. And for me, it was like, okay, let's do it like this and quickly, and we will see in the future if I can put my mark in the club.
What was that pre-season tour of Ireland like, and how did you settle in with the squad?
Yeah, it was a bit different for me because I didn't speak English when I came, but they have some few players they were speaking French. I mean, Soule and Toumani and Jordan and Sol. So for the integration, it was a little bit better for me. And slowly, I make like I don't know how to say in English, connaissance. Is it like that?
Connections. Yeah.
Connection. I think with the player to speak, but it was difficult the first few months because when you have this world, the language, you cannot speak too much. So slowly, I make a connection with the players, and it was good. It was good.
And then after that pre-season, your first match in the English Championship was away at QPR, where Leeds lost 3-0, but you came on as a sub. What can you remember about that match?
Oh, I remember this the stand, the fans, English football that I really see from my eyes. I was seeing from the TV, but to be honest, I remember this game. We lost, but the atmosphere, it was unbelievable, and the Leeds fan also was there. They was full in the backstage. So it was a lesson. Yeah, it was a lesson. We lost. Yeah, but it was a lesson, and opening game really interesting. I remember.
Did you find there was any difference on the pitch between the football that you'd previously played in France and Portugal compared to the English game?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the English football is like more intensive, more a little bit more physically. It's more physically, and we all know the fans is a bit different. So yeah, for me it was more the football I expected, more the football I played. So everything was on the side what I wanted.
And then after that trip to QPR, you made your first Leeds appearance at Ellen Road against Birmingham, which was the next match. What was your first impressions of Leeds Stadium and the fans?
Wow, this day I will never forget. It was a special day for me. And I remember I scored my first league goal against Birmingham. We lost also 2-1 this game. But it was a good remember for me, and to meet these fans at home, it was really special. I see the atmosphere, like everyone was talking to Leeds, and I see in this day, it was a good remember, this day, and yeah.
Yeah, and although, like you said, Leeds lost the match, you also scored on your home debut at Ellen Road. What did that feel like?
Yeah, it was like me, like everyone know me, they know that I don't score like 10 or 15 goals per year. I score a couple, but when I score, I remember all my goal, and some of them are more special. And this one, it was special to score in front of our fans. So I remember the full was the atmosphere after the goal. It was unbelievable. So it's only good to remember.
After a rough start where you only won one game out of the first six, Leeds began to pick up form and started to begin to climb the table into the playoff places around Christmas time. Do you think there was a reason for the change in form?
And to be honest, the group in the preseason, it was new. The club make some transfer. So I remember this time it was like few players who came in the same times. So for the adaptation and the preseason, I think is not enough to already connected with every player. So slowly, we get connection every to our style of play and the coach. So I remember it was the game at home when we draw against Fulham, 1-1. And I think after this game it was like a really start the good way. And I remember this time we was good for in a long period.
So, as well as the club performing well as a team, you were one of the standout players as you used your pace to run at defenders, something which hasn't been seen at Leeds for quite a while prior to that year. Was that something that's in your natural game, or was it something which Gary Monk asked you to do?
No, I think this is my game. This is my game to play like that, to take the pace and to dribble, to run and stuff like that. This is my game. And this time I remember we were Gary Monk, the coach, have a lot of confidence of me and the staff also. So they was trying to put me on the best condition to play my game every single game. So it was good for me to have it this kind of stuff and the coach behind me all the time. I remember it was good and enjoying also. So I should remember the really good words that the coach was saying to me every time.
And as well as your pace and your dribbling, which you obviously mentioned then, which was positive at Leeds, there was a growing trend on social media after that match at Reading at Ellen Road, where fans started this phrase, "Square it, Hadi." How did you take that?
I remember I saw this in the social media after the game, and first of all, it was like I remember I didn't understand good, and I say to the one who posted, "What does that mean?" And he explained to me like that means when you are in this position, you have to pass the ball. And it was funny because after like everyone and starting to saying this, and it's like how we say this a double name. I don't know how to say this in English, but it was like a general, like when I saw like a Leeds fan outside or everywhere they starting to say square it. So it was fun, and also a little bit of learning. So it was it was fun.
Yeah, like I remember you posted a tweet of the PlayStation remote with no pass button, which was obviously a joke. But did you think that it might have been an area of your game which you had to improve on?
Yeah, of course. I like to be in this mood to have contact with the fans. So I remember at this time I was a lot in social media. So I post this how do you say this PlayStation
Remote.
how do you say this? Yes, and I post this, and it was like the cat and the rat, like we just trying to lose and trying to decompress on the social media. So it was it was funny.
As well, at this point in the season, when Leeds were beginning to play well and pick up points, in December, the FA announced that at the time, Chairman Massimo Cellino had been banned from owning the club, which brought quite a lot of negative attention to the club from the media. Do you think that had any influence on yourself and the rest of the players?
Not really, not really. To be honest, we are all professional. We know that sometimes this can happen in the football. Some stuff outside the pitch. So our rules, the players, is to be focused on the pitch, to stay connected with the football. That's it.
Yeah. And did you have any relationship with Cellino, or was he just in the background?
Cellino have a good relationship with my agent, and that how you know that Sol is also a player of my agent also, so they have a good relation. But me personally with him, I didn't speak with him since he go to Italy.
As well as the off-the-pitch negative aspects with Cellino, there was a big negative on the pitch for Leeds in January when the side lost to Sutton in the FA Cup 1-0, where you came on as a sub. What do you think went wrong for Leeds that day?
I don't think the president, the chairman, have impact on this defeat or on the pitch, because it's not him who play on the pitch. It's the player. I think, it's like how we say the football. Sometimes you learn, sometimes you lose. And this day we lost, I remember, and it was painful for us and the fans and for the club. So we cannot say nothing about it. This is football.
Despite the Sutton match, between December and March, Leeds won 12 out of their 19 matches and only losing 5 matches in the process, which put Leeds in good running for a top 6 finish for the first time in a few years. Were the objectives at the beginning of the season to achieve playoffs, or were there no targets at all?
The objective of the season, remember when we was in pre-season, the objective was clear, to finish on the top 6. You know that the Champions League, championship, is a really hard season. It's really hard season, 24 teams. So our objective first, it was to finish on the top 6 and to stay the maximum time in the top 6. So we did it good for a while. In the end, we all know in the end. So it was painful for everyone. I remember.
What did it feel like missing out on the playoffs? Because, like I said, you were in and around there for the biggest part of the season, and to fall at the final hurdle must have been a bitter pill to swallow.
If you ask me, I will say, to be honest, I cannot answer you. You know, it was a good run. It was a good run from when we starting to win until like when we go out of the playoff. We did maybe almost the season of in the top 6 when we came inside. So yeah, to get outside in the bad moment in this time, it was really hard, because we all know that comeback is more hard to come inside. So the teams also up, they was fighting to stay. So how I said, it was a bit mistake of us, and you know, so it was bad. Remember this time when we came out and we cannot go back in the top 6.
When the season finished, you returned back to Sporting Lisbon, which was your parent club. But you wrote a tweet saying something along the lines of, "It may be a goodbye forever or a brief see you later." At this point, were you aware of your future at Leeds?
At this time, no. I just said like really thanks to everyone who welcomed me in the club, because I wasn't alone. And the talking with between this Sporting Lisbon and the Leeds, they haven't started yet. So for me, it was my rules to just say thanks for the season, and for the after what it will happen, I didn't know yet in this time.
But then in 2017, at the beginning of the next season, you did eventually make the move to Leeds on a permanent deal. How happy were you that you were coming back to Leeds on permanent player?
Yeah, it was an honor for me, because I enjoying this year the first year when I was there. So for me to come back there, in Leeds, it was like, yeah, I'll come back to the family, you know. I have it like no plan. My only plan, I tell to my agent, is was to keep going here. So this it make it happen, and I was happy this day.
But then, when you did come back to Leeds on a permanent basis, at the time when they announced your transfer, the club had no head coach, as Gary Monk had left the club and the head coach was vacant. Did that have any effect on you joining the club because it was uncertain as to who would be your head coach for the next season?
To be honest, I have a good relationship with Gary Monk. So is that normal that everything who he learned to me, to know that it will be not here the season after? Yeah, it's a little bit sadness inside of me, but the football life is continuing, and the new manager came, and we just you just have to respect the decision of the club, and to adapt yourself to the new manager.
How did you find Gary Monk as a head coach, and how were you aware that he wasn't going to be coaching Leeds for when you became a permanent player?
Yeah, the message also, we have a group chat, and the football player and the club, and the message also to tell this news. So I read this in this WhatsApp chat.
As well as your permanent arrival in 2017, Leeds brought in 14 new first-team players before the start of the season. How was that as a player, having so many new players join the squad?
Like how I say, is always a new adventure when the new players came. I think the club, they have some people that are working on it in the club to bring some good player. So if the player who came to the team and the club, so the people who was working on it, they know what they was doing. So how I said is different in the beginning, and slowly you have to adapt everyone to the only single way.
So, a new head coach was in place as Thomas Christiansen took over from Gary Monk. How did his coaching style differ from Monk's?
Every coach is different. Every coach is not looking the same. Like Christensen have a different way to football to Gary Monk. So how I said, you have to adapt the new manager. So it was a different style of play, a different style of play.
And then the first match of Christensen's era and your first match when you were a permanent player was Leeds' away match at Bolton, where Leeds won, but you started on the bench and replaced Alioski as a substitute in the 85th minute. After that match, do you think that Alioski's arrival might reduce your playing time at Leeds?
In the Bolton game.
Just in that season.
And yeah, no, Alioski, no, it's really good player. I remember this time he was doing a really good preseason. So it's normal that the coach have the choice, have to do one choice, and Alioski was the choice of the coach in this time, and it was doing well. We was in a really good relationship, and that's football. We cannot play like more than 11 in the pitch, so I have to accept this, and to work on it, to just working hard, and to show when I'm in the pitch, to show what I can do.
And then after signing permanently, you only made 11 appearances under Christiansen. And do you think they should have been given more playing time by him, especially because you had such a good season the season before under Gary Monk?
Yeah, I was trying to back on the level when I came. So for me, it was like yeah, a little bit different. The year before I was playing, and the starting of the year after I was on the bench of the beginning of the season. So I know that what I needed to do, just to work, and I was thinking I was working for me, working hard, and I needed maybe more opportunity. I didn't have, but that's football, so cannot do much of this when you have a coach. It's always him have the last word, so cannot say much about this.
Although you didn't feature much for Leeds that season, you made your international debut for Mali. What made you choose Mali as your represented country over France, who you'd represented at youth level?
Yeah, it was a honor. It was an honor. I started to the selection with the French team. I started this for 4 years. It was really, really good. And you have to do one choice when you grow up, you know. And I make this choice from the heart. I make this choice from the heart, and yeah, it was a good honor to represent my country, the country of my parents.
Yeah. What was it like? Because you made your debut in 2018 against Japan, and then you also featured in Mali's squad a year later for the Africa Cup of Nations, which must have been a very big honor.
Yeah, how I said, the big honor to represent his country. This first game I make against Japan, it was a really good test. I remember this international first game, first A international game. It was a really, really good game. I remember this friendly, and yeah, the following this game, I was calling most of the selection until the African National Cup. I make an injury before the last 33 calling up. So I was a bit sad. Because this in football can happen also. And I was finished the season well with my club in this time. So yeah, some good remember and some sad remember.
At the end of the 2017-18 season, Leeds parted company with both Christiansen and his replacement Paul Heckingbottom and appointed world-renowned head coach Marcelo Bielsa. Can you remember his first training session at Thorpe Arch?
Yeah, I remember. I remember perfectly. Do you want to know that? Yeah, this new head coach came. I remember we have a tough time in this moment. So yeah, it's like a new breath when you are in bad situation and a new manager came. So everyone want to show. It's like a new depart for most of the team. So yeah, I remember this first training. It was a bit different, and funny and good also to know the staff and the coach.
When he did arrive, did you believe that you would feature more at Leeds under his watch?
I mean, I always believe that that's on me. I always believe so. Which I don't know which any coach like can arrive or any situation. I will always staying positive in my head to say that yeah, maybe this is time, this is now the time, this is now the time. So yeah, when the new coaches came, he came to Leeds. I was believing that something will change,
What did you know about Bielsa before his arrival?
I know a lot about Bielsa because he was a head coach of some teams of France,
Marseille.
and he also managed my friend. So my friend told me a lot about him. So I know Bielsa like a really supporter of football.
Would you have liked to play under him at Leeds?
Yeah, to be honest, when I hear that Bielsa will come to Leeds, first of all, I think like all Leeds fan and every one of the player, when you saw this first information, you are like, oh, maybe this can be, or you believe, you don't believe, everyone have his point, and slowly, this information starting to be real, and I remember in this time we were in holidays, and when this was official, I was like, yeah, this can be one of my full life, I starting to talk with some friend who know Bielsa, and we know the football, and this didn't make happen. So I have to continue in the life. And when I saw now the work is doing in Leeds, I'm happy first for the club and the player and the fans. So I hope this end of this season, everything is gonna happen. Like I will not saying everyone know. So I hope and I pray for this.
And at the beginning of Bielsa's first season, you were sent out on loan to Spanish side Las Palmas. Was that
Yeah.
your choice to go out on loan, or was it the club's?
It was both. Both. It was because I wanted to play in this time, and the manager, like I understand that I will be not like in the first choice. So when I heard this and my agent tell me that it's good for me, just to go to play, have some games in the legs and come back fresh and to show the real Hadi that who you are. So I say, yeah, why not? So I go there to Las Palmas, and it didn't happen like how I want.
Yeah. You only made 5 appearances for Las Palmas, didn't you? So
Yeah.
why do you think things didn't go to plan there?
To be honest, I don't know. I was working really good at this time because it was new adventure, new country, new teammates. Everything was on the side. The coach also was believing in me, but I didn't play a lot, and this was a really regret for me because I know that I can really, really do something in this league, the Segunda A side on the Spanish league. So this is behind me now. I have to look forward, and that's it.
Las Palmas terminated your loan in January, and from there you were sent out again, which would be your first spell in Turkey with
Ankara.
Ankara. Yeah, that's the one,
Yeah.
which was far more successful. Why do you think that was?
This time I remember it was really long, the transfer window, because from the first day of the transfer window, me and my agent and the club, we spoke, and we already concluded that it's better for me to looking somewhere else to finish the season. And because I didn't play in Leeds official games, so I can play to another teams. So yeah, when this side the Turkey came, Ankara Guju, and I said, why not? Why not? And I will go there and to play, because in this time I needed just to play some good games, and in the good leagues also. So first division in Turkey, and I accept the deal, and I go there, and I was enjoying there.
You featured quite frequently for them and helped them to avoid relegation. However, they didn't make your move permanent or extend the loan to the following season. Why do you think that was?
Yeah, they have some situation a bit different sometime here in Turkey. So they wanted me to stay, of course, but I have also to see what is good for me. And when I was there in this time to finish the season, they have a lot of loan player. So for the year following, I have to also to see the project of the club, and to see the ambition and everything. And after all this question, I make the decision to sign for another club.
So when you finished your loan in Turkey, you returned to Leeds, and at that time, did you think that your time at Leeds was over, or did you think that there was a chance that you were going to play for the club again?
To be honest, I remember when I come back to my last loan in Turkey. I remember after this, they will give me like, okay, you did look good there. I was thinking they will give me another opportunity. I was playing games, scoring goals, and enjoying football also. And yeah, I was thinking my time is it will be continue at this time.
But then, at the beginning of the summer transfer window of this season, you made the permanent switch back to Turkey with Denizlispor. Was that because you enjoyed your time so much in Turkey the first time?
Mm, this it was, yeah, on the side of my head, yeah, and also because when I spoke with my agent and the agent spoke with the club, the Leeds, I mean, yeah, I have the 1 year left in this time of my contract, and we say the truth, and we say that is they say that is better for me, like to looking somewhere else. So I was looking for a good project to keep going on, keep going on and to play. So I stay. I make the decision to stay in Turkey.
Although you did leave Leeds that transfer window, do you believe that you should have been given more valued by Bielsa because he never played you once?
Yeah, I would just to try to try with him. We all know that he's a really, really good manager. So to work with the good manager, it always progress you. So this is what a little bit sadness for me, in this side, to didn't have this opportunity to work with him at Leeds. So that's football.
This second section of the show is where our followers get to ask their questions to our guest by commenting on our LUFC Fanzone Instagram post. Each episode, we select 4 questions which are commented on our post and put them forward to our guest.
This week's first question comes from Aaron, who asks,
Hi guys, hi Hadi. My question is, how did your time at Leeds develop you as a player?
My time Leeds, Aaron, it was short and really good. I have some good memories on my head, and this club, this city, this fans. So yeah, if I have to say, if I have to qualify this time in one word, it was unbelievable.
And our second question comes from Tom, who asks,
Hi lads, I hope you're all doing alright. Hadi, my question for you is, who was the best player you played alongside with at the club? Cheers guys.
Hi Tom, I hope you're okay. Your question is a bit hard, huh? But in this time when I was late, we have a really good squad, and a really good player. To be honest, to say one player is difficult. It's difficult because I mean, like the first year more, because it's the year when I came. The strong, how to say, the team was really strong. The team was really strong, and they have some really quality player in the team. So to say one is difficult. I would say the team and yeah.
Next up, Theo asks,
Hi guys, hi Hadi. My question is, out of all the players that you played with at Leeds, which one player would you want to spend the most time with in lockdown?
Everyone know, I will say Sule. I have a good connection with everyone, but most with Sule, and everyone know this.
and lastly, Alex asks,
Hi guys, hi Hadi. My question is, which player did you learn the most from whilst at Leeds?
Good question. I learned a lot. To be honest, they have some player I learned, like I would say, like Pablo with his experience. I learned a lot of him. In this time when I was there, he was playing like the first year, number 10. He start in the cup in the number 6, 8, and after was number 10 and winger. So to show him like experiment player, I will say I learned a lot of him.
And that ends this week's episode. Thank you so much for everyone for your questions, and thank you, Hadi, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you to the Leeds fan who will hear this interview also. It was a good interview, and like I always say, it's not
Yeah.
a good end of the week, and I hope see you soon.
Thank you.
Same to you.
Thank you.
And see you in the Prem.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, yeah.
Thank you.
Ciao,
See you later.
ciao,
Thank you for your
guys.
time.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
We'll be back in 2 weeks with our next guest, but who will you choose? Stay tuned for the upcoming vote on our LUFC Fanzone Instagram story later this week. Thanks for listening.